Yeah, I'm surprised I'm not dead.
3, 2, 1.
I wanted to win that thing so
You
bad.
you were close.
I was. Why the fuck are you always taking something? What? Just buck up. Can you even run a 100-miler sober?
23,000 feet of elevation, Dan.
Yeah.
You are one special individual, Mr. Spike. Running a marathon's impressive. Running a 100-miler is impressive. But running multiple 200-milers, I have a man coming in today who's going to talk about that. The moment I met this man, he changed my life. I didn't know what I was capable of personally. The first time I signed up for Spike Camp, I challenged myself. I went from running a 5K to a 50K in a single day. Special thanks to my guy Taylor Spike for coming through today. It's been a pleasure. I hope you guys enjoy.
So we started in Oak Ridge and ran down, so it's 30 miles to Lowell from Oak Ridge.
So is that your post I saw you post today?
No, that was similar. I did that the other way, but me and a group of friends, so I was supposed to pace cam. And so we started in Oak Ridge, ran 30 miles. There's a trail that comes all the way down. We got down, but we were on the wrong side of the river. So we had to swim across the river.
You had to swim across the river?
Yeah, and it was legit that year. I mean, we get there and they're like, this isn't safe. What about our phones and stuff? And I was like, bladders. So everybody had a bladder for their water.
Yeah.
So we dumped all the water out of them, put all our phones in our bladders and zipped them up and swam across. And then I paced cam all through the night.
Oh, see, that's incredible.
Yeah, and they were so excited when I got there because we hit the course and there was people going around. So we all jumped in, did a couple loops with everybody. And they're like, how'd you guys get here? We're like, oh, we started in Oak Ridge. Like, what about the river? Well, we forged it.
We swam across it. So you're also a coach. Let's talk about that.
I'm not very good at it though.
Yeah, you were learning. You just started coaching, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like 6 months and I, give everybody a plan. I kind of tweak for them and,
Well, it's tough because you're coming from just being an athlete per se. And now you're going into the realm of coaching, which can be difficult because what works for you might not work for others. That's difficult.
And I realized that I realized a lot about myself and my approaches to things.
Yeah.
Just life.
Yeah.
Like trying to help other people. Because I'm like, somebody gives you a plan and says, do this, you'll be successful. And people don't,
Right.
They want to, I think humans, and I guess this is something I just wasn't raised that way, but it was like, everybody's looking for a shortcut. They want to do everything but.
That, and some people want you to hold their hand the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah, the best thing about it is we have this group text that goes, a couple weekends ago, it wasn't working. I wasn't getting any messages. I was like, oh man, they must be mad at me. And so it was Friday till Wednesday, and there was 1,200 text messages. The group gets going. Like 4 a.m, 11 o'clock at night, they just start chit-chatting and asking about life, and it's a good circle. That's been pretty cool because I've never been part of anything like that where there's so much positive feedback. Everybody just feeds off of each other.
Well, you're creating a new community too, because most of these athletes that you're coaching are probably fairly new.
They are.
Yeah,
they're all new.
Because all the people that you've been how long have you been running for?
Let's see. Paxton's gonna be 18, so yeah, 17 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
Of competitive running. What got you into it?
Oh man, that's a hard one. Well, I was racing motorcycles. I was doing like ISD, like the easiest, like they're like desert races or timed course races through the mountains or through the desert. And I was doing the China Hat 100. It was a 100-mile motorcycle race.
Is that out here in Oregon, right?
Yeah,
China Hat.
Yeah, Christmas Valley, or not Christmas Valley, but outside of Bend.
Okay.
And so it was 100 miles. I did it 1 year. And when I was younger, I raced Supercross and was always pretty successful and had a good time. But as I got older, I was like, I gotta do something different.
Yeah.
So I did it the first year, got my butt kicked. And the next year, I was coaching Donovan. He's our oldest. I was coaching him in soccer. And he needed to get in shape. And I was like, well, I could shed a few pounds. Maybe I'll start running too. So it's a hard story. We decided we're going to run 2 miles. We lived out Barger area.
Okay.
And there was a roundabout. It was 1 mile from the house. And I said, well, let's go for a run. And he's like, all right. So he was like, maybe 12, and I was, you know, a couple 100 pounds and drunk when I did it. And we took off from the house, and, you know, it's kind of like, you know, your ego starts going, you're like, I'm not going to let my kid beat me.
100%.
So we get to the roundabout, I start pacing off of him. I'm like, well, as long as I can keep him close, hopefully he fades out, and I know how far it is, and I'll take off before we get to the house. So we get to halfway, and he's beating me, and we get about a half mile from the house, and I see he's starting to fade. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to drop the hammer, and I'm working hard.
Yeah.
And I am dying. I mean, to this day, it's still probably the hardest that I've ever ran. And so we get to the house. I literally ran in the bathroom, turned on the shower, turned on the sink, and just started puking. I mean, I was just like...
Yeah, not out of sight, though, right?
I don't want him to know. You know, I just beat him, you know, and who knows where he was. I didn't even look back. But I'm literally just... I mean, it hurt so bad. And I was like, okay, well, that kind of sparked it, right? It was like, you just realize how out of shape you are. And
How old were you? What'd you say?
I was 30.
You were 30 years old?
Yeah, I was 30. And
that's usually around the same time that I think most young adults realize, like, I have X amount of years to live.
Someone told me by the time you're 40, that's the body you'll be in for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that isn't good.
No, that's not,
that's not good.
Trust me. I mean, even for me, like at a young age, I've always been really heavy set.
Yeah.
And I was told the same thing. Like, you're not going to have a long life if you keep treating your body that way.
Right.
You've got to get in shape, figure it out, you know, otherwise it's going to be tough.
For sure.
You know, I get it.
So I was running like a couple miles, 2-3 miles a day. It was like one of those things that my boobs hurt because they were bouncing, my stomach,
Shaking.
it was all this weird stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not giving up on this thing. So I ended up doing the motorcycle race, wrecked, blew my bike up. I wrecked early in the race, laid it over, throttle stuck, blew it up, couldn't even finish the race. And then shortly after that was like a springtime race. Cam was getting ready to go into Western States 100. That was the first year he did.
You're talking about your brother,
Yeah.
Cam Haynes. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And he's like, you know, by that point I'd been running pretty consistently, but not a ton. And he's like, hey man, you want to pace me at Western States? I didn't even know what Western States was. I mean, I couldn't wrap my mind around riding a motorcycle 100 miles, let alone running.
And he's your older brother too, so you probably looked up to him a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, just like his kids do. It's like when he says, well, if that guy can do it, you can do it. You know, it's like, yeah, I mean, he's just a man too, right?
Yeah.
So I'll put the work in. True, it's a great example of that.
100%.
You know? Everybody wants to be a doubter or a hater, but it's like hard work pays off. So
Every time. I mean, that's half the battle in life. Nothing of value will come to you just out of sheer luck.
No.
You have to put the work in.
I've said it a million times. Nothing good happens overnight.
Nothing.
It's all short-lived. So I was ramping up the miles, and he wanted me to run 20, so I started running more and more, and I decided I was going to do was a little bit after that, but right before that, my back flared up. Like all of a sudden I had I've been running. At this point, I probably lost, I don't know, 50 pounds, and eating salad, running all the time. I mean, I wasn't sober.
Well, at this time, there's not really like a science behind running either.
No.
Right? No one has wearables or heart rate monitors or just nutrition facts. Like, you're just kind of doing it, correct?
Yeah. I literally would go for like a 15-mile run and stop at Surview Market and buy like a 4-pack of Sutter Home's little wines.
Okay.
And then a beer. And I would sit in the parking lot after my run, so I'd pound this wine in the parking lot and then walk home with the beer. And I'd open the beer when I got home, and in this theory that my wife wouldn't know that I was drunk because, I smelled like beer. So who would have thought I just drank 4 wines in the store parking lot? It's like half mile from the house.
And if you want to be honest with yourself, why would you do that?
I don't even know. I look back on it now, and it's like, I can't justify it. And I don't even know why I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like thought I was rewarding myself. I
It
lost
was,
all this
it was a little bit
weight.
of a habit too.
Yeah, and it was, being drunk
Celebration.
Yeah, get a
of course.
buzz on, you feel good. I just went for a big run. I deserve this.
Was there a direct correlation between how you would perform though while you run after drinking?
No, I didn't put it together.
Yeah.
I didn't put it together at all.
it was just a lifestyle at that
Yeah,
point.
it was just, well, and kind of going back to like what you said, there was nobody, you couldn't go online, and now you can see, well, run is bad, drinking and running is bad.
Yeah, you can see that now.
But if there's nowhere to go online or anybody to tell you that, it's like, I'm just going to, you go to a race, everybody's drinking beer afterwards.
Yeah.
That's totally normal.
And they still do that to this day.
For sure.
Like, beer's free after the race.
There's kegs of beer. Everybody's pounding,
Yeah.
and if you don't know any different, or
Well, it's kind of that dirtbag runner mantra. You live in the trails and you pound beer at night and you just rinse and repeat. And
for sure.
but I feel like in today's society it's switched, where your health is more. People are more conscious of it. They're not drinking as much and definitely not doing drugs. I mean, for some people it's like a eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
Doing both. But I'll tell you what, after running my first 24-hour, that was plenty of drugs I needed in my life.
For
In
sure.
the middle of the night, going through that.
You even have a fun time hangover the next day, for a week after.
Yeah.
It's...
Well, it's spiritual. I mean, running becomes spiritual at some point, and I'd rather be sober to experience that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm closer to 40 than I am 30, so my drinking days are far beyond my capability right now.
Yeah.
I barely can stay up past 9 p.m.
Yeah. So his race was in June. I was drinking like a loser. I had ended up having back surgery. I couldn't pace him because my back was bugging me. Then I had the surgery, and then in July I was supposed to do Siskiyou out and back 50K, and I had just had surgery like 2 weeks before that. So by that point though, I had started to then once I got hurt and I was drinking, I realized that the drinking was for some reason affecting just how I felt the next day.
Yeah.
I'd sleep weird or whatever. So I kind of started to limit the drinking, but after back surgery, it was like, they give you the family pack of Dilaudid.
Yeah.
And I had no idea the whirlwind that shit would put me through. Not good.
No,
Because, great, huge bottle. I mean, man, that thing was that tall and that big around, and he said, just take them as you need them.
Yeah, there's no repercussions. And at that time, they even came out and said, this isn't a habit for me. They knew, but they didn't want to tell us.
Right. Yeah. So that's what kind of put me into this, well, I'm going to quit drinking. Not even consciously thinking, well, dude, you're hot. You're on pills. And I was the guy, I'd wake up in the middle of the night and take more. They said take them every 4 hours, go to bed at 8, midnight, I'm in. It was like I wasn't going to not take them. I had plenty. So that started just a whole nother cycle. So I give up the drinking. I'm chewing on pills like they're going out of style. And I did that for years. I mean, years. Until it was, I would say probably 2-3 years, because at 5 years I had another back surgery, and by then I wasn't I didn't want to take any. I was so afraid of pills. I was like, I'm not doing it.
Because you were probably full-blown addicted by that time.
Well, dude, so bad. Yeah, I mean, I had the story. Someone broke into my car and took all my stuff, and they'd refill it. And then it got to the point that I called and said, hey, same story. And I don't know why people think that's a good story.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds horrible.
And it's happened multiple times. You think they'd catch on, too.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
And she says, my doctor says, well, I should have really, looking back on it, I should have realized that they put me, my doctor, it became this lady who was internal medicine, was like her background.
Okay.
So it wasn't even my normal doctor anymore, or someone else.
And they're looking, at that point, they're probably looking at the pain management aspect of the addictive side of the behavior from the pills.
Yeah. To the point that I'm at the doctor's office trying to get more pills. And I'm in the lobby, and they said, well, you don't have an appointment. I said, well, I just really need to talk to the doctor. I need these pills. I can't function without them. I'm in pain, blah, blah, blah. And I'd been out a couple days. So I was like getting like sick, like physically sick. And there's a Thurston Medical Clinic, and they have, I'm in the lobby, like where you check in, right? You're sitting there, people behind the counter. All of a sudden I look out the window and I'm like, well, why is she leaving? Like she's pulling out. I mean, and I'm looking around and I realize there's nobody even there. So she's driving away. I run outside. I realize that they literally left me in the doctor's office. I walk out. I hear the door. I check the door. It's locked. And I'm like,
They locked you in?
no, it was like an automatic door.
Oh,
So when
okay.
I went out, then it locked.
Oh.
So you could still go out, but you couldn't get back in. And I'm looking in the parking lot, and there's no cars there. And I'm kind of like running after her, and my phone rings. It's her. She's like, I know you don't want to hear this, but it's a reality. You're just going to get really sick, and you need to find some help.
Well, how old were you at this point?
34?
34?
Yeah.
What'd you do for help? Because I'm assuming you were going through withdrawals at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're about to experience your...
I could get some pills from buddies, who had morphine, or nobody had Dilaudid, but
Right.
everybody had Vicodin or Norco, and it would just keep the edge off, and I wasn't getting sick. So I'm like Googling, tramadol, that they give to pets, and I'd taken that at one point. I'd gotten a bunch of that,
So, and this is when you're in the thick of things.
Oh,
like
dude.
you're chasing it.
Big time. Yeah, it was all, I remember missing work to try to find, I was a freaking full-blown addict.
Yeah. And was your family aware of it too at the time?
They had no idea.
You were able to hide it pretty
Yeah.
well.
I had no idea. And so I ended up telling my wife, I said, because I was afraid I was going to die.
Yeah.
I was getting like super sick.
Yeah.
Just diarrhea, vomiting, shakes.
Shakes.
I couldn't focus. It was like I was in bad shape. And ended up out at Serenity Lane. And they had just built the treatment center out there in Coburg. And they told me how much it was going to cost. And it was like $12,000 or something. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, that's not going to work.
Yeah, I don't have that financial.
So we got
means.
home, and I told my wife, I said, you're going to have to move out for like a week. Like 7 to 10 days. I said, everything that I've read, everybody I talked to said that's how long it takes to get through what I'm going through. So they loaded up all their shit and left. And
So one of the hardest things you probably ever had to do.
sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what really sucks is when you know that there's something out there, all you gotta do is take one,
Yeah.
and you're good, and it fixes it.
Yeah. You feel better.
Yeah, you're not trying to get high at that point.
No.
You're just trying to get
You're trying to
not be
live
sick.
and not be sick. Yeah.
Stomach cramps. Oh my God. Yeah, so it was like 6 days later, I was like, okay, I think I'm better. Things kind of, started to reflect a little bit and how I got to where I was and what I needed to do. And they moved back in and things kind of focused a little bit differently right at that point.
Yeah. You're still fighting that demon every day.
Oh, every day.
Once an addict, always an addict, and you're gonna be, it takes one bad day to relapse.
The saving grace was I had nowhere to get pills.
Yeah.
And the people are
So you cut all those people out then in your life?
most of them worked for me,
Oh, okay.
and they do. I was always getting pills. Well, one of the guys had ran out about the same time, and I don't know if he actually ran out or if he was like just didn't want to give up his stash. And I remember trying before I ended up, telling my family I need to leave. I'd be over at his house. Hey man, you got any pills? Another guy had, he would give me some pills or some weed, and and that would, it wasn't. The weed isn't pills, and it doesn't make you not sick. It just helped me sleep. Because that was the other thing. I remember just laying there all night, staring at the ceiling. It's like this is not good. And it was after that I knew how sick I got, and that just haunted me because I was afraid if I took one or two, that sickness would come right back.
Right.
And that it wouldn't be worth it because I was never, it's not like I ever felt like I was on cloud nine taking them. I just.
No, but you felt normal. You felt
what I
functional.
thought was normal.
Yeah, for sure.
What I had chalked up was normal. That I was like, okay, I need to start running again because I didn't quit running, but I was still trying to do it. And, but then I was convinced, well, you could only run as well as we could because you're always high. I mean, doing races, freaking taking pills mid-race.
But by that time, how many races have you already accomplished or done when you were, what are you talking about, with motorcycles or
running?
Running.
Yeah.
So you were popping.
Oh, I ran the
pills.
Bear 100. I ran.
Oh, you were doing ultras by this time.
Oh, yeah.
What was your first ultra?
The Bear 100.
Bear 100.
Yeah. And, and I remember during the races, I would get so drowsy. I mean, just ass kick. So everybody used to kind of joke about Taylor would just lay in the brush and sleep. Well, looking back, I was fucking wasted. I mean, I was fucking opiate out, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing with Cam going on. I'm like, dude, I was freaking taking straight up synthetic morphine or Dilaudid, Tramadol, Vicodin, handfuls of this shit before races, mid-race. I mean, that's just what I was doing.
Yeah, and you didn't know any better either.
No, I was running like 12 races a year.
Oh,
At that point, I probably, I probably
well,
done
and
30.
probably you couldn't feel the pain either because it would numb it. I mean, how was that?
Well, I never felt like it made the pain go. I mean, I could still.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the reality is once I got off the pills and I was running again, then it became this challenge. Like, well, can you even fucking run? I mean, can you even run 100 miler sober?
Can you be the man you already created without them?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why, SOB 50 miler I did. It's like, 10 years ago. That was my best. Like my best 50 miler up until a couple weekends ago. And I remember I was fucking wasted after SOB 50 miler. That's the race that I was sitting in the trailer drinking beer. I was like 4 Sierra Nevadas deep into a 6-pack, and our oldest boy was sitting across the table from me shaking his head. And I was like,
he was upset with you?
I got a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like
well, it's the influence you don't want to bring to him. He sees you doing this, but he looks up to you because you're his father. But you're also, creating this legacy. He's like, God, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be like you in that scenario. I want to be like you, but you're not handling it properly.
Yeah. So that's, for the past 10 years, I've been chasing this, okay, can you even do it? Or can you, a big thing, was it really painful? And I just never knew it was. So it's like now I'm way past that, and I've been in way deeper pain caves than I ever was. And I realized, it might have helped, but it wasn't the determining factor. I mean, those had nothing to do with what I was being able to do ability wise. I mean, shit, I'm almost 50 now, and I'm just as fast as I was then.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you just set a new PR this a couple weekends ago. Correct. I saw
50 miles. That's why it was such a big to-do.
Yeah.
People don't realize that's why it's so important.
Yeah.
Because when I did that before, I was fucking wasted.
You were wasted. Not only that, but you're 10 years older now.
Right.
And you've already accomplished multiple races.
Right.
That are over 200. Even Arizona Monster, you came in second place.
Yeah. Well, that was all of those. It's like I kept trying to reach further and further because I had convinced myself that I was only successful because I'd been freaking chewing on pills or smoking weed.
Yeah.
Same deal. It's like I was always medicated. So now it was like Cocodona was the second Tahoe 200, and what was that, 2018?
Well, you were in you which I know you like to run the inaugural years races. You put in and
the unknown
races.
Yeah,
of course.
they didn't know if it was 240 or 220.
Yeah.
They had sweatshirts for both distances. They didn't even know.
No, they didn't.
No, because nobody had ever actually done the full loop.
Oh, interesting. So they didn't have anybody who even checked the course.
Well, they had marked the course.
Yeah.
But Candace is like, we don't know if it's going to be 220 or 240 because the GPS cuts in and out. And at that point, GPS and internet wasn't as stable as it is now.
Right.
So you lose GPS signal somewhere for miles.
Well, Candace is the race director for a majority of these
Yeah, for destination trail races.
destination trails.
Tahoe 200 and Arizona Monster and Moab and all the initial big 200s.
The big 200s.
Yeah.
How'd you get into the 200-mile distance? Like, what made you? I know you said your first major ultra was a 100-miler, correct?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and so I had done my first 100, and then I did a self-supported 100, and then I was terrified to go do another 100 because I wanted to go sub 24. And then Cam's like, "Hey, I'm doing Bigfoot 200." He's like, "You want to pace me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to pace you." And so I paced him like 160 miles of the 200, and I ran almost, just all that I could with him. And I did that the weekend before I ran Waldo 100K. So I was like, okay, so if I can do that many miles, then I need to do a 100-miler.
Yeah.
Then I'm in. And then that's when it was Moab. Then we did Moab 240. And then that was, then
Well, and I believe you have a course record still, right?
at Tahoe 200, both directions.
Yeah, both directions.
Because they used to do the loop around. Now this year is the first year since the last year I did it that they are going back to the loop.
Okay.
They've done it as an out and back because of fires. They closed the side of it. So now
they're doing the full loop again.
Yeah. And I had master's course record.
Right.
If it wasn't for Courtney DeWalter and Kyle Curtin, I would have won.
Yeah. Hey, those are some big names on your facing against. So
I
some of the biggest in history as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they crushed me, but still, I went 60 hours one year, then I went back the next year and did 56 hours.
Go. How much sleeping are you doing during these times?
8 hours to 60 hours, and I did about 4.5 hours at 56 hours.
4.5 hours.
Yeah, and that was all
And this is
5-10 minutes at a time.
Is this post sobriety?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, no, because I was still smoking weed.
Okay.
So.
Well, not as bad as the pills. Not great.
No.
But so did you stay sober after you had your family move out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you stayed sober.
Well, no, because I was smoking weed.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I wasn't drinking. I wasn't chewing on the pills, and in my mind, that was another thing, and it took years to really look in the mirror and be like, why the fuck are you always taking something? What, just buck up?
Yeah.
Just accept the fact that you got issues. Nothing's going to make you feel better. You're going to be chasing this dragon for the rest of your life. Going on trips and not having something and freaking all out or having mood swings or any of that shit. And I was like, you just got to quit fucking anything that would ever do that. So it was literally caffeine, any of that stuff eventually was like, I just cut it all out altogether. And that was, even by just freaking smoking weed, you don't realize how much of a handle it has on you until...
Still a habit for me.
Absolutely. And winding down at night and getting home from work and, doing your thing and doing it in private when nobody knows you're doing it, that makes it even harder.
Because you're ashamed. You don't want people to know.
Right. And then nobody else can hold you accountable if they don't know you were even doing it.
Yeah. Right.
That was...
So would you say Cam got into the ultra scene way before you?
Yeah, for sure. He had done Bighorn 100. He had done SOB. He had done Western States at that point. I didn't even go to Western States when he ran it. And that was what...
So he inspires you to do this giant running.
Oh, yeah.
Because without that, you probably would have been like, I'll go to my local marathon.
Yeah.
And
I would just follow the normal path. But of course, he's like, you got to do a marathon. You got to do a 50K. You got to do a mountain 50K. You got to do a 100-miler. It's just... He's pretty good about, making it sound reasonable, even though it's super difficult.
Oh, very difficult. I mean, like I said, for me, I never got into ultra. A few years ago, I realized, I was like, you know what? I've lived in Oregon a majority of my life. I've never hiked the South Sister. Never been to the top of it, right? And then I heard someone told me, they're like, well, if you can do Pisgah 5 times, that's the same elevation.
Yeah.
So that summer, I went out and trained on Pisgah.
Yeah.
Every day, And then Memorial Day weekend, I was like, okay, I got the day off. I'm going to do 5 summits. That's the equivalent. It took me 6+ hours to do 5 summits. That summer I hiked the South Sister.
Yeah.
And then here comes this story. I don't know who you are. Never met you, but someone's like, hey, there's a spike camp going on down in Mount Pisgah in January. You should try it. I know you like hiking Pisgah. I go, well, what is it? Well, it's this incredible challenge. It's 12 hours. You just do as many summits as you can. And I was like, you're right. I've done it 5 times. Let's see.
Yeah.
So I show up. I actually contact you. I'm like, hey, Taylor, your event says it's sold out. I don't know what's going on. No, just show up. It's free. We're just out here trying to support each other, have fun.
Yeah.
And that's where I met you. I ended up doing 10 summits.
Yeah.
I went from a 5K to a 50K.
Yeah.
And it was life experience because it changed the way I viewed myself. Like, I can do hard things. And the support I realized that's in the community is incredible. So let's talk about what Spike Camp is. What is it? Why'd you create this event?
Initially it was, I'd spent, 10, 15 years ago, you'd go out there even on a Saturday, there'd only be 3 or 4 cars in the parking lot.
Right.
So you'd be out there just grinding at night during the day, put tops in. But with that always came the self-reflection, right? That, no matter how shitty you felt after you did it, you always felt a little better.
Yeah.
So it was, I wanted to hold an event that didn't cost hundreds of dollars because ultras are expensive. To do a 12-hour race costs you $200 or $300 to sign up. And it feels like there's always this, I just notice at races after doing them for so long that there's this kind of weird ego, like drive that, people are training for the race or tapering. I just wanted people to come out and just impress themselves and just have a community to go up and down the hill, see grandmas and grandpas and people out of shape or in shape who are just turning around and going back up. And I thought, you know what? If we do something at Pisgah, we just do 12 hours. We make it free, have people come out, hang out. We'll give them some food, give them some drinks, and just encourage them to keep going. I said, I think people will find something in it. They'll find some joy in this suffering a little bit. And that's basically what happened. I mean, it's amazing the stories and the people who are like, oh, I've been coming out here for years and I've never done more than 2. I never thought I would do 5, 6, 10, 15. Wayne Endicott, prime example.
Yeah.
He's been out grinding that thing for decades. And all of a sudden he's out there, for 12 hours, breaking all his personal bests. And he's, I just never thought I would do anything like this, that I would, you kind of, I don't want to say it's like going to work, but you go out there and think, well, I'm going to go to 2 or 5 summits. And then you go home and you think, oh, I'm trashed, I'm tired. But then all of a sudden you're out there for 12 hours, you sit down, you do a couple, sit down for a little bit, take a break. Next thing you know what? I got another one in me.
Yeah.
That was some of the guys that I coach. It was that Robert was like, I can't do another one, man. I'm limping. My leg hurts bad. And Joe's like, man, come on, Robert, take a break, grab the poles, get back up there, man. You got hours.
Yeah.
Just go do one more.
You have 12 hours.
And when he went and did that next one, he was on cloud 9. You could just see the impact that it made on him.
Well, and that's the same thing that happened to me. It changed the way I looked at myself. Like,
yeah.
I've always been a big human being. I've always been told, you're too big to do these things. From Spike Camp, I just ran 81 miles.
Yeah.
From the opportunity that you gave me, because I would have never done that myself. But in that event, I'm like, I can do these incredible feats. Like, I had no idea what was capable inside of myself. And I know every year from now on, more and more people are going to want to try it.
Yeah.
Because of what you have created and brought that opportunity to the community and then some. I mean, because it's more than just ultra. It's the community, I know one of the main sponsors is Recovery Strong.
Yep.
What is Recovery Strong?
Well, Jared and I met kind of through social media. I call him the chairman. His Recovery Strong is his brand that he came up with out of his sobriety. He had to have I think it was a business plan when he was going through his treatment. He had to come up with his business plan or some way that he was going to stay focused and hold himself accountable. And that's where he came up with Recovery Strong. So it's a brand. They got shirts and hats, and they're just trying to spread the good word. And they've been the biggest supporters of that whole thing, right? I mean, him and his brothers all came out, and their families. The first year the brothers came out, and this year all their family came out. And they put a lot in that. They're the ones that came up with the shirts and designed the shirts and did the bibs and all the lights and all the behind the scenes stuff to make it happen. All the registration. They've been they've been amazing.
Yeah, it changed a little bit this year, I noticed, with the registration, but I also noticed that it benefited Serenity Lane
Yeah.
for sober living,
Yeah.
which is awesome. You know, it's
Yeah.
one of your main focal points you tell in your story
Yeah.
is sobriety
Yeah.
and how much better life is without the noise of drug and alcohol.
Even with all my mistakes, my dad went through Serenity Lane when I was a kid, when I was 12 or 13. Christmas or Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. Remember, he got to come out for the day so we go get a Christmas tree. You know, so it was like, even though watching your parents go through something, all of a sudden here you are in the exact same boat that they were in, you know, and just kind of follow suit with it. So to be able to give back to those guys in Serenity Lane years later, you know, that's the least you could do, right? Because they changed my entire family's trajectory, and including a lot of other people behind that, right? And that was, this year we charged a little bit for the shirts and whatnot for Spike Camp, but, you know, most of that was just to cover some of the costs that we were out from the first year. When a couple hundred people show up, you're trying to give them stuff.
Well, you probably had no idea what it was going to be like, or, you know, I mean, I'm assuming the very first year I know it was canceled. Because we got hit by that giant ice storm.
Yeah. And they closed the park.
And I mean, it took 6 months for them to reopen the park. It was like
a war zone.
Yeah.
It was bad.
All the trees had fallen.
Yeah.
And luckily they were able to get it all fixed.
Yeah.
But see, and that's another aspect. It goes back to the community.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, sobriety, you need support.
Yep.
And a lot of ultra runners have an addictive personality, and a lot of them have gone through very similar paths, you know, and you're easily relatable to for most of these people, and that's why you inspire so many. You know, I mean, your story is unique, but it's a lot of people can understand it and they can relate to it. So what is one of your most fondest memories of racing? Like what just sticks out?
Well, a lot of it has to do with sobriety, because, you know, when you are, I remember when the feeling that I had when I told my family to move out and being sick, ain't nobody there telling you, hey, keep going. You got this.
Yeah.
You're alone. Right. And it's something you got. There's nobody there to encourage me to do it. I mean, there was, don't get me wrong. I mean, my family was absolutely supportive.
Right.
Nobody showed up every day and said, you know, hey, you got this, you know, hang in there, you know, you're going to make it. We're proud of you.
Well, you don't want your family to feel like you're letting them down. You know, you want them to still love you, and you probably don't feel loved at this time.
Right.
Especially you're in your weakest moment.
Yeah.
Especially as a man, you know, like, I'm not what you guys need, but I need you to understand what I'm trying to do to better this.
So being in an ultra and you're coming into an aid station every 5 or 10 miles, you're in the pain cave. You know, you're tired, you're beat to shit, you know, you feel like you're dying, and everybody is encouraging.
Yeah.
Everybody. You got this. Keep going. What do you need? What do you need to keep going? You know, and it's like, you don't get that shit at the grocery store.
No.
Nobody's coming up to you, handing you water, saying, hey, keep shopping, sucker. You got this. Yeah. You just don't get that in life.
No.
So now here you are running 50 miles, hundreds of miles, and the entire time, all these strangers, even though you feel like absolute hell, are telling you, you got this. You look great. You're just like, I feel worse than I ever have in my entire life, and all you suckers are telling me I'm doing great and I look great. You know, it's like you don't get that.
And you're in the competitive side of it too, so.
Well, I like to think that I am.
Yeah.
I don't win anything.
I mean, the inaugural year, you got second place in Arizona Monster. It took 88 hours to run, 305 miles, 309 miles?
Yeah.
You're still competitive, Taylor. Yeah. You might not believe it, but, you know, in the inaugural year, at least you podiumed.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
God, I wanted to win that thing so
bad. You were close.
I was close.
I was watching you the whole time.
I led for a long time, and then fucking Peter caught me with, like, was it 40 or 50 miles to go.
Yeah.
I hugged him, and I was like, man, you got me.
Yeah.
I said, I tried for days to keep you at bay. I said, but you're coming down those downhills, and he could run through the rocks so much better, and I just couldn't move that quick.
But still, you pushed him. You're the reason he won.
Yeah.
Because you forced him to push himself.
Oh, yeah. We leapfrogged every night, every sunset. We'd come into an aid station. I'd be sitting there, and he'd come in right behind me. and then I'd get up and leave, and he slept like 10 hours or something. At one point he slept for 2 hours, and I was like,
oh, I
said, oh yeah, he's gonna sleep, no way will he catch me. Yep, next night, hear that fucker come rolling down the trail. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
He had a whole like cot set up with a sleeping bag. He'd get all by the fire. There's one point, I wish somebody's got a picture somewhere. There's all of us, there's like 5 of us, all in the lead pack, and we're all asleep around the fire at this aid station.
Okay, I've seen that photo.
Just chilling, and it's like middle of the night, it's like everybody knows they need to go, but nobody wants to. But you're kind of like, well, if those guys aren't going to get up, I'm not going to get up. And I end up leaving there first because I'm like, these guys are sleeping. This is my only chance. So
there is a competitive aspect to it. I mean, you got to.
Oh, for sure.
And when you go in those aid stations, you almost got to be like, yeah, I feel great. I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
The mental side of it.
Oh, yeah. And you always ask, how'd he look? Oh, yeah. He looked like shit. And they tell you that. But, it's like, I would always. So I'll kind of collect my thoughts before I come in, and then I'll grab stuff and then leave and go around the corner and lay down because I don't want anybody to see how bad I am. Yeah, that way when the next day comes, I'm like, man, he came through looking good.
Yeah, he was looking. Yeah, he's totally fine.
Yeah, it's just the atmosphere, and there was a long stint there. I'd race once a month. I didn't do that for years. A 50K or 50 mile or whatever it was. I'd kind of race my way into shape and do 100 and. Just being able to connect with all those people that normally in life you'd never cross paths with, and everybody's positive and encouraging. And
well, that was the one thing I remember the first year at Spike Camp. I didn't know I had no idea. I didn't eat anything until after my 4th summit. I just was like, oh, well, I'm just gonna bumble up the mountain. People were like, no, you're good, just eat something. I remember Nick, the trainer dude at the bottom, like, how much have you eaten, Mario? I'm like, I think I had a couple gels here. It's like, oh my God, dude, you got to eat.
Yeah.
And it became a death march the rest of the day. So the second year, I made it a mission. Not only am I going to eat everything in sight, but I'm going to be supportive of everybody I see. And I did. I was bumbling up the mountain. Hey, good job, keep it up. Yeah. Why are you smiling, you psycho? I'm like, hey, we're blessed to be here, aren't we? But that's the difference. Like, it encourages people. Because there was a man I met at Spike Camp. He came from Florida. I'm not positive. I don't remember.
Jason.
I don't remember exactly where he came from. There was one man, he had a limp. He was 8 Summit Sam. I don't know. I want to say Florida, maybe not Florida. He was 8 Summit Sam, and he's like, I think I'm done, dude.
Pink shorts?
I don't recall what he was wearing, but I just remember he wanted to quit, and I was like, hey, dude, you didn't come all the way out here to quit.
Yeah.
You can get that 10.
It was Jason.
You can get that 10, and sure as shit.
Yeah.
Saw him, I go down, he's coming up. I'm like, yeah, there you go, dude. That's the attitude I like to see. That's the encouraging side of this of ultra.
Yeah.
There's not one yes, it is competitive for some people, but at the same time, you're running your own race.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And most of the time, if you walk, like I tell people, if you showed up to the doctor's office after an ultra and said, I'm just not feeling well, they'd lock you down.
Yeah.
And so here everybody's out there limping and hurting, and everyone's trying to keep going. You got this.
You're great.
You're nearly fine.
Yeah,
you're
okay.
It's mind blowing.
It is mind blowing. But that's the difference. When you're injured versus in pain, There's a big, big difference.
Yeah.
Now, what's one of the hardest things outside of sobriety that's changed everything for you?
Well, I sobered up, had a couple back surgeries, lost my job of 20 years, got let go one day. That was hard. And then shortly after that, we lost Donovan, our son. So that was like, anybody could justify drinking or doing whatever at that point. But that was, it's like, shit's hard.
Losing a child is one of the hardest things. You should never have to do that.
I remember watching it on the news. I was getting ready to go to the dentist. I had a 7 a.m. dentist appointment, and I see this picture. Oh, there's a car accident at the federal building right down here.
Oh, here.
Yeah, and supposedly a drunk driver hit the wall and died, and I just thought, fucking stupid kids, somebody driving too fast. And I saw the pickup on the news. They showed us, and it didn't click. I was just about, we were living over like North Gillum area, or the Gillum area in North Coburg, and I was driving to work, and Pam called him, just sobbing. And picked up. I hung up. And I was like, that was his fucking truck. You know, went home. She was just fucking wreck. Her dad was on his way over, and Cam lived across the street. I walked over there, egged out the door, and he opened the door, him and Tracy, his wife. He's like, what's up? I'm like, Donovan's dead. You know. You know, it's
not easy.
no, life's fucking hard.
Life is hard.
Life's
It's
hard.
not fair. It's not fair.
No.
My condolences. I'm really sorry to hear that. But he's proud of you. I promise you that.
Yeah.
And he supports you to this day, every moment. And he shines bright. Every time you're out there running, you make him proud. I know you do.
I remember he did one run with us. We did the Fall Creek run around, and he ran the wrong way. That was the only race he ever did. But he saw how it was impacting the family, and it was Pam and I got tattoos after he passed. I remember when you're there setting up your kid's funeral, they're like, well, do you want a thumbprint of him? I'm like, a thumbprint? I said, what? I said, people do that? Well, yeah, you put it in a little locket. I'm like, no, I want his whole hand.
Yeah.
I want his hand. Like, every way you can imagine, I want prints of his hand. And he said, why? Okay, yeah, we'll do that. And I knew it was like, that's the tattoo. So mine's on my shoulder, and he's like pushing me in the back.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a pussy. Go get it. And then his mom's is like, he's hugging her, and it's on the other side. So, that's his hand. It's a different tattoo. It's not the same tattoo. It's just it's his hand, but it's a different angle of it. And we went through and picked them all. I'm like, that's the one I want on my shoulder. You're just like, right, pushing you, That's what I had said just a couple weekends ago at that race. It was like, every time I wanted to walk, it was like, don't be a pussy. Go get it.
Yeah, he's right behind you. He's pushing you forward.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I know it's not easy. But like I said, you do help so many people in this world. You give opportunities that most people had no idea,
Well, we don't take our lives for granted.
We do.
We take
a blink of an eye, it can end.
Yelling at your kid or hating your job or thinking you're fucking broke, None of that shit matters when you lose a kid.
Not at all.
None of it does. No one cares.
The world's cruel. It doesn't stop, I lost my mom at a young age. And I mean, she was the most important person to me. She supported me through everything I've ever experienced in my life. And, when I lost my mom, I realized I'm never going to get the option. She'll never see me grow to be a man. She'll never see me get married. She'll never see me start this business. She'll never see me run, ever. I never ran before. So I know the feeling, It's not a child, but still a parent is hard.
Oh, for sure.
It's not easy. And I mean, it's family. You only get one.
Well, it's like when you go to the store and Rube is pumping gas. He has no idea what you're going through. And here you are just broken. And the rest of the world is just clicking along. Like, they're pissed off at their boss or their wife. And it's like, you have no idea what it feels like to have that much heartbreak.
Well, and I do the same thing, like I sit behind the chair when I cut people's hair. I try to make them feel better. Some people open up, some people don't. But the people that open up, I try to remind them too, like, hey, you only get one life, brother.
Yeah.
I know you're having a hard time. Like Mother's Day, I'm off the grid. Like,
yeah.
I can't see it. And, people come in and they're like, oh, I have a horrible relationship with my mom. I'm like, well, did she beat you? Like, I mean, why is it bad? Because you guys had a disagreement? I mean, what's the difference? You only have one mom, dude.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, the worst thing that will happen if she goes and you don't reconcile, it's gonna consume you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So forgive and move forward.
Yeah.
You know, even if you don't have to talk to them, just forgive in your own heart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because you realize when you lose somebody close, watching other people, how selfish they are about their feelings when it comes, because they feel like they should have done more. It's like all of a sudden they feel like, and I get it. But it's so hard.
It's so hard.
Losing family, losing a kid young, was all the things,
Were you were sober by this time?
Yeah, and it was, he was drunk driving. That's what they said initially, and even as a parent, you're kind of like,
My kid would never.
well, no, it was kind of the other way around. It was kind of like you could kind of blame it on something. Like, part of you is like, yeah, well, he was wasted and, made bad choice and he was, made a mistake. But then part of you is like, was he? Because people are talking shit. It's all over the news. People are posting horrible shit on Facebook. Oh, drunk driver deserved it. And so it's kind of one of those things that we like just did our best to deal with. And then a couple months went by and, they do a talk screen. And then we get the deal that says, oh, no, he wasn't. Nothing in his system. So it's like, as a parent, you're kind of like, God, you prepped yourself for this whole one thing. And now to find out, fuck, he wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's like this mixed feelings of like, you wanted to be able to say, well, he was drinking and driving and he made a horrible mistake, to like, no, he was just driving too fast. Fucking just driving too fast.
Yeah.
Just being a dumbass. When your kid buys a beater car, and you don't think about, what does it have, airbags, or what are the tires? You're just proud of them for getting the fucking car. And it had been totaled. It had no airbags in it. So it was like when your kid comes up with a car, it's like you're just kind of proud of them for getting it, right?
Congratulations.
It's like, oh, well, there's no airbags, so when you're driving too fast, you get in a wreck that you're gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
But that shit's real. And it's just, it's just shitty. Like 9 o'clock at night, the turn, you make the big sweeping turn to go over the bridge.
Yeah.
And he went straight over the curb and then slid through the grass and hit the wall right in front of the federal building. You know what I'm talking about? So he's coming down. Is that, I don't know what street that is, heading, well, where's the federal building from here?
Federal building is right behind us.
Okay, so he was driving this way, like he was going to turn and come up over the bridge.
Yeah.
And he went straight over the curb, slid through the grass, and then up against the wall.
And just with the collision on the in front.
The concrete wall.
The concrete wall.
Yeah, they have that big wall around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's hauling ass. He drove fast everywhere.
Yeah, he's a kid. He was a kid.
I'm surprised I'm not dead.
Well, I mean, that's the unfortunate truth with most of us. We've made so many consequential actions.
Oh, man.
And how lucky are most of us over this distance, but it's only one time that it changes your life forever.
Well, as a parent, what you do is you all started thinking it's karma, right? It's all those decisions you made and all the things that you did as a kid, and this is how you get punished for it.
But it's not your fault. You had no control over it,
No.
I mean, I know that's the easy way out, to think like, I deserve this. But no one deserves that.
Oh.
I mean, it's like I said, it's the easy way out. Like, oh, all my actions, this is karma.
Yeah.
Right? But now look, how many people have you saved now?
Yeah.
Versus this, how many people reach out to you and be like, thank you. Like, I'm fighting my sobriety right now, and I needed this. Like, you're such a massive inspiration to so many people. And there's a lot of people that, you know how men are. We have egos. We don't like to tell other men thank you, but we watch.
Yeah.
We definitely watch,
Yeah. I think actually social media it's been great. I don't have any bad. The amount of people that ask for advice or would say, I appreciate everything you do, it's humbling. It's super humbling. Yeah. It's good. It's good for that.
Look how much better your beard looks.
Yeah. It's never been trimmed.
Yeah, no, you never touch it, but it's your calling card,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, who's the guy with the crazy beard?
I can't get rid of
that's
it.
Taylor. No, please, dear God, never get rid of your beard. It's 100% your calling card.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's Taylor. Oh,
I
yeah.
don't even know if I have a chin.
I don't want to know if you have a chin.
I shaved it off one time at my brother-in-law's wedding.
Well, I think today I saw you posted some photos of you no beard, and I'm like,
that's when I was fat. Yeah. Yeah, because when I got sober, so kind of what I gotten sober, and where I was working was doing hair. They got this contract with the government entity or whatever it was, and that's when weed had just gone legal.
okay,
And they're like, well, we're gonna do hair follicle testing, and I'm like, fucking bring it, baby.
Yeah.
So my hair was like down on my shoulders, my beard was long. It was like I posted a couple other pictures, you can kind of see it, but it was. Yeah, it was just one of those deals, and I was like, I ain't never getting rid of it.
No.
I used to go to work every day wearing a tie and slacks and clean shaven, and
So do you work a full-time job now?
oh yeah,
What do you do for a living then?
basically a mechanic.
Okay, a
know.
diesel mechanic working on.
It's the company I work for builds parts for RVs, like
Okay.
motorhomes and travel trailers.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So I manage a group of technicians, and we do the Rockies West.
Okay.
So there's 5 guys, a couple service writers, and they do 250 days a year on the road. And last year I did like 165 days. So I'm usually on the road Monday through Friday.
How do you get all the training in?
Early.
Early?
3 a.m. baby.
3 a.m. Hey, I mean, I usually get up at 3 a.m. not to run. I'm going to the gym. I got to live.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you got to do
I
something.
got to do something. I don't have time to do it after work or,
Yeah, I do like, if I sleep 5 hours a night, I like wake up and I'm like, oh, bring it.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
good.
a new man.
We're set.
Usually it's like 3 or 4 hours. Well, that was one of the things after I quit drinking and freaking using is all of a sudden I realized I didn't sleep. I mean, it was like every hour and a half I was awake. And like to the point that I was going to the doctor, hey, is there anything you can give me? I remember they gave me Ambien one time, and I literally in the morning, Pam was like, how are you this morning? I said, what are you talking about? She's like, do you remember last night? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you went to the store at like 10 o'clock at night to get ice cream. And I'm like, I've been wasted in my life.
Yeah.
I usually have like these vague memories of like getting in the car, like the guy at the store looking at you weird.
Right.
And I had nothing. I was like, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm never taking that stuff again because I didn't have a good time and I didn't remember.
I'm going to trim up your mustache real quickly. Just so I
Then I just accepted the fact I only sleep like an hour and a half, 2 hours at a time.
it's just how it is right
And
now.
once I accepted it, I was like, yeah, it is. I mean, it's been that way now for, 10 years? I mean, it's been a long time.
Now, if anybody wanted to get into like the ultra marathon and the training aspect, what would you recommend them do? How does someone start doing it?
Do a marathon.
Do a road marathon first?
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of depends on what your goals are, though. I mean, if you want to run 100 miles and, that's your goal, or, so many people get into it, so I want to run 100 miles, I want to do it in a day. Well, I would start with figuring out a marathon, because just that fitness from doing a marathon carries you well into ultras. I think a lot of us want to, jump into a 50K and we're not running a lot. And you think, well, it's only 30 miles. I got 8-9 hours to do it. I've been doing 20 milers. It takes me like 5 or 6 hours. I think, I probably must. And it's a suffer fest because your fitness really, you don't know what it's going to feel like.
Right.
Until it's late in that event and you're hurting. But doing timed events, just being consistent. All the people that I coach, some of them have been super successful on pretty low miles. And I think it's being consistent and holding yourself accountable. It's a lot of will. By 10 miles, your body's screaming at you, your heart's racing, you're sweating. There's every sign to stop. So you're just willing yourself past that.
Have you ever had any significant injuries from running?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I ruptured, well, the back surgeries weren't those are from piling up on my dirt bike too many times, but I ruptured my Achilles, like detached it.
Ooh.
I got a really, this patella tendon that goes on the outside of your ankle. I ruptured that at Arizona Monster. Yeah, I've had a bunch.
How'd you experience in the Arizona Monster? I know we talked briefly about the delusions you were experiencing during that race with
deja
the moon.
vu.
Deja vu and the moon. I remember talking to you about how you thought it was a doctor like,
Oh, I was
Through the-
asleep.
yeah, you were asleep.
I was laying there, and when I woke up, I thought it was the doctor with his light in my eye, make sure I was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was the deja vu is the weirdest thing because it lasted days.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like I've been here. I know what's right around the corner, and I had to go down a rabbit hole after that of what deja vu is, and it's the delay, this delay from the time you see it to your brain processing what you saw. So because you're when you're that fatigued, the delay is so long that you're convinced in the moment, oh, I've been here. We actually, you are there. Right. So like,
Oh, interesting.
So you see, like, I see you.
Yeah.
But by the time my brain registers that I see you, I'm off doing something, I'm already on to the next thought. Yeah. It was days though. Adam was the guy paced me for 60 miles. He was super annoyed. I'd be like, oh, I know it's right around this corner. There's this power line up on the hill. And he'd be like, oh yeah. And it had already happened. When I was telling him the story, I was actually describing what we had seen miles before.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like hours off. By the time I was telling him stories or talking to him, I was hours off of where we actually were. Like behind.
Oh, you were so far behind registering in your brain.
Yeah. Like,
From the fatigue and
yeah, like we'd be having a conversation. I remember at one point he starts laughing. I'm like, what? He's like, you haven't talked for like 2 hours. He goes, that's what we were talking about hours ago. And I thought, oh no, we just literally just had this conversation. He's like, no, dude, you've been silent for hours. And in my mind, I thought he literally had just asked me the question, but he'd asked it and it took me hours to actually process it and then spit it out.
oh my God.
Not good.
No.
Not good.
I mean, and there's the 8 stations, they have medical checkups too, right? Like people checking in on make sure you're coherent and you can still
Well, I mean, they ask you how you're
air
doing,
questions.
and it's like somebody who's drunk, it's like,
Oh, ain't great.
right, exactly. Sleep deprivation is for real. That's,
Would you say that was probably the Arizona Monster was probably one of the hardest races you've ever done?
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah.
took a long time to recover from.
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Yeah. I mean, it took me, so in all my time running, I've never taken like full on breaks, like no running. I've always like still ran, maybe every other day, or I'd take a couple days off and then get back to it. But I took months off. I just take months off. Yeah, my back was flared up really bad. I had ruptured. I've had a couple back surgeries, so I have a couple herniated discs, and then they flared up so bad for months. And it was sitting here as my leg would just shake. My left leg would just shake, and that was just nerve stuff from my back. So running, it would flare up. It was bad. It sucked.
When you mentioned you had the peroneal tendon issue too.
Yeah.
I've experienced that. It's a fun one.
It would pop when I'd get up in the morning. I could see it slide over the outside of my ankle.
Oh.
And like it'd clunk. And it would feel a little better, but I'd try to run and I wouldn't have any stability. Like I'd just keep twisting my ankle. So I saw a doctor. He's like, well, we need to do surgery on it. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, we're going to have to. What do? They grind out the bone so it has a new groove for the tendon to slide in. And I was like, well, what if I just like, so what's the recovery for that? He's like, 6 months. And I'm like, so what if I just like wear a boot for a month? He's like, that'll never work.
So you ended up having surgery?
No, I ended up wearing a boot
Yeah.
all the time.
And
I taped it, wore ankle braces, and did everything I could to like, I'd KT tape the shit out of my ankle and like make it so that, it would kind of hold it in place. I'd wear a boot at night so it'd keep my foot in flexion.
Yeah.
Because when you sleep, you like straighten your toes out. So in the morning, I'd go to get up and put weight on it. It'd go pow, like
It would pop.
snap. And then you could watch that tendon on the outside of my ankle just slip over the outside of the bone.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, that's not good. So wearing a boot, taping it. Then after a couple weeks, I was like, I think I've got progress. So I'd try to go for a run, twist my ankle, and it'd come right back. It'd swell all up. It'd get inflamed, start popping again. So I took months. I mean, it was months. Could barely even walk at work. I mean, getting up and down off of ladders or crawling under RVs, working on them. I was like trying to keep my foot straight and not let it get twisted at all. And
But it healed
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, I mean,
There's probably a little damage still, but
actually, you know what's really crazy is, so I've been on a 12-week stretch for my training, and it didn't feel this good even before I thought it would, when it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my ankle used to always, I'd do this and it'd always kind of clunk.
mm-hmm.
Fucking healed.
Do you have any more races planned in the near future?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, next month.
Next month, what are you running?
High Lonesome 100,
High Lonesome 100.
Southern Colorado.
Oh, that'll be a fun one.
Oh, yeah, it's at like 10,000 feet.
It's at 10,000 feet?
Oh, yeah.
What's the elevation?
The average elevation is like, well, 3,800 meters. What's that, 9,000 feet?
9,000 feet.
That's the average elevation.
Ooh, that's the gain for the total race, or?
No, it's 23,000.
23,000 feet of elevation, Dan.
Yeah.
You are one special individual, Mr. Spike.
It'd be good.
Well, thanks for coming in, brother.
Yeah.
I'll continue to support you. I'll be watching. I'm assuming it's going to be live streamed as well. Or not live streamed, but you'll be able to follow it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job at it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate you again, my friend. Thanks for
thanks,
coming in
man.
and sharing your story with us.
Sorry, I'm all red-faced.
Oh, no, you're good. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Welcome to adulting.
Yeah. You could call it that.
Awesome. There you go, my friend. Thank you again, he's saying. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it.
Look sharp.
Domin. That was awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that story. I know it's a lot, but I think people appreciate hearing some raw, vulnerable, real life stuff, because life isn't easy. It's hard.
Yeah.
And to share these moments, I mean, especially being a man, it's hard to be vulnerable. But when we're vulnerable, we allow more people to be vulnerable. Hey, you know what? It's okay to be weak sometimes and let the emotions ride. Because that's what life is, like these aspects that we create for ourselves. Yeah, the world doesn't stop turning. Honestly, no one really fucking cares.